Welcome to the Keys to Good Food. I'm Jane Key, Dietitian and Chef with Kettering Health Network. The goal of this series is to provide food preparation videos right here from my home kitchen. The series is called The Keys to Good Food. I want to show you how easy it is to make simple and tasty recipes that are not only good for your health, but that your family and friends will enjoy as well. So please join me as I show you how to blend the joy and art of cooking with the science of nutrition. I'm constantly learning about food, nutrition, and cooking, and I want to share this with you. Please join me on this journey. Let's get started. Today we're going to talk about how to make a healthy overnight oatmeal with berries. So think about how you start your day. Do you give yourself time to start with a good breakfast to give you a boost for your energy for the day? Or are you in a rush? What we're talking about making this overnight oatmeal, we'll be able to give you a suggestion of something that can be prepared the night before and be a nutritious, tasty start to your day. So, as we walk through this, though, we're going to explore the concept of culinary nutrition, looking at how the science of food comes together with the art of beautifully prepared, appetizing food that can have a positive impact on our health. So, without further ado, let's get started. All right, so you will need a cup of milk, Greek yogurt, then you will need to have 2 spices, nutmeg and cinnamon, and then honey, vanilla, and then berries and or some type of fruit, and then your oats. All right, so to get started, I have my bowl. I'm going to add 1% milk. I have selected to use 1% milk. You can use any sort of low-fat milk that you would like. If you are dairy intolerant and need a lactose-free milk, you can purchase that. Or if you prefer to use soy milk, that'll work. Or supposing that you want to use a dairy alternative, then you would try your nut milks, like almond milk, oat milk, pea milk, something like that. All right, so whatever milk or milk alternative you prefer to use, that's what you'll start with. A cup of milk. We're heading to make 2 servings of this overnight oatmeal with berries. The second ingredient is plain Greek yogurt. Now, the deal with Greek yogurt is it has been further strained than regular yogurt, so it has a lot of the whey taken out, and that's what gives your yogurt a thicker consistency, a little bit more of a tart, sour flavor, but the protein content is higher because of the concentration of the yogurt. So we're going to use a half cup of the yogurt that I'm going to put into my bowl, and if you happen to have just a fruit-flavored yogurt, Greek yogurt at home, that's fine to use. And in doing that, then you would want to eliminate using the honey, okay? I have 2 teaspoons of honey per serving, so we're making 2 servings, so that's 4 teaspoons of honey. Honey has some beautiful health properties too, in that it is full of antioxidants and has been shown it's a less refined sugar. So those of you that prefer to use things that are closer to nature, minimally processed, honey is a good alternative. Or you can leave it out. If you're a diabetic and you prefer not to have all that added sugar, you can certainly leave it out. Your end product will just be a little bit more tart, all right? The next ingredients that we're going to use are ground cinnamon and ground nutmeg. Now, spices we know have health properties to them, anti-inflammatory, immune boosters, and antioxidants. So it's a really good idea anytime you can incorporate herbs or spices into a recipe to do that. So I have cinnamon here and nutmeg. This shows you what a nutmeg seed looks like. And we know that there's greater bioactives or greater health properties to fresh ground spices. So I wanted to show you, this is an example of a nutmeg grinder. It is an older version of it. A microplane would work the same way, or there's some fancy nutmeg grinders out there. But anyway, you get way more nutritional value from using a fresh ground spice than you do with spices that have been in your cupboard. Realize that spices do have a shelf life, Some of us like to keep them for years, but if spices don't smell or smell like they should or look the color, then you need to be replacing them. Anyway, cinnamon is in here too. Cinnamon is shown to be very helpful for different disease states and from blood sugar control as well. So cinnamon is always a good thing to incorporate, and it gives a nice depth of flavor, a robust flavor. And then I'm going to add pure vanilla extract, and your flavoring from using pure vanilla extract versus imitation is much superior. So you would want to try, it's a little more expensive, but the flavor is much more intense and nice way to go. Okay, so I'm going to mix this together, and I sometimes find using a whisk is a lot better idea, but whatever you like to use to stir works. This helps to get the yogurt mixed in. And then my next ingredient is going to be rolled oats. So oats come several different ways, but these are rolled oats versus steel cut oats. And just think about the term there, rolled versus steel cut. Rolled are rolled out, steamed, and pressed, whereas steel cut oats are literally chopped up into little parts. Okay, this recipe we want to use rolled oats because it'll absorb the fluid better, and the oatmeal will bloom and increase as we have this sit overnight. Okay, those of you that might be gluten intolerant, gluten sensitive, celiac, you can buy certified gluten-free oats, and that's a fine thing to use too, because then you can have a nice whole grain breakfast alternative as well. All right, so we mix that all up, get it, and then I have a choice here, fresh berries versus frozen berries. During the summer months, fresh berries, the flavor is very intense and the prices are more reasonable. Come the winter months, fresh berries become very expensive and sometimes the flavor is not there. So an alternative would be to buy a bag of frozen berries that are frozen, picked at the height of harvest and flash frozen. So the nutrient value is very high. Berries are an excellent source of antioxidants, often called the antioxidant jewels. So anywhere that you can put berries into your daily routine, your daily eating routine, is very, very beneficial to your health, okay? Low glycemic index, low in calories, beautiful flavor, texture. So I'm going to fold in now my frozen berries that have become more at room temperature than frozen, but that's okay. So this kind of resembles a soup, but remember, as you rest it in the refrigerator overnight, that it will, the oats will absorb the fluid, blossom up, and then you will have a nice jar of overnight oatmeal with berries. So I'm going to put this between the two jars. Remember, we said 2 servings. So we'll just go ahead and fill the jars up. Now, those of you that are going to say that isn't going to work because I don't have jars at home, then just put it in a bowl, okay? And you can cover your bowl and refrigerate it overnight. And then that makes, then you can just put it into individual serving dishes in the morning. Sometimes people don't care for cold oats too, so this can easily be warmed up in the jar. Obviously you would take the metal lid off, but warmed up in the jar as well, or warmed up in individual containers. So it looks kind of pretty in here. I'm going to fill my jars up all the way, almost all the way, put my lid on. I'll pop this into the refrigerator for 8 hours or overnight. And then in the morning, I can take it out, eat it cold, warm it up, whatever the preference might be. This makes a nice little gift too, an easy way to take breakfast to somebody, or if you're packing your breakfast for work, or kids need a quick breakfast to go about their day, then that's good. Now here's 2 examples of the finished product. And you'll see just when I open the jar here, this is still cold from the refrigerator. And it's always nice to garnish your food items to make it, we know we eat with our eyes and our nose way before we take it into our belly. So it's always nice to have a nice presentation. This is an example of just in the serving bowl. So I would have taken it out of here and put it into there, okay? So you might say, okay, this would work, but I don't have berries on hand. Think about how easily you could substitute in like a chopped up apple with walnuts, and the spices that we used would be lovely. Or you could go more of a Caribbean flair, mangoes, maybe with kiwi. Or there's people that will make overnight oats in a jar with some sort of nut butter, peanut butter, almond butter, sunflower butter, a little dark chocolate. So whatever pleases you, think about a recipe as a template for, or a roadmap, but you don't have to stick to it strictly, okay? So I encourage you to think about making something like this. Plan the night before, prepare this beautiful, nutritious, tasty breakfast. Great way to start your day, great boost for your energy. And until we meet next time, eat well and be well.